The Lotus Sutra, Chapter 6, Prediction. At that time, after the Bhagavat had spoken these verses, he addressed the great assembly, proclaiming, quote, "This disciple of mine, Mahakasyapa, in the future will be able to meet 300 myriads of kotis of Buddha Bhagavats, to whom he will pay homage, respect, veneration, and praise. He will extensively expound the immeasurable great teachings of these Buddhas. In his last body, he will become a Buddha called Rashmi Prabhasa, a Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well-departed, knower of the world, unsurpassed, tamer of humans, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagavat. His world will be called Avabhasa Prapta, in the Kalpa called Mahavyuha. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 12 intermediate kalpas. The true Dharma will last in the world for 20 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also last for 20 intermediate kalpas. His world will be adorned, and there will be no dirt, shards, thorns, excrement, or other impurities. The earth will be level, without irregularities, hollows, or hills. The earth will be made of lapis lazuli, with jeweled trees in rows. Golden cords will line the borders of these roads, which will be scattered with precious flowers, and everywhere will be pure. In his world there will be immeasurable thousands of kotis of bodhisattvas, as well as innumerable shravakas. All malice will be far removed, and even though Mara and his minions will be there, they will all protect the Buddha Dharma." Thereupon, the Bhagavat, wanting to explain the meaning of this further, spoke these verses, quote, "I tell you, O monks, that I see with the Buddha eye that Kasyapa in the future will become a Buddha after innumerable kalpas have passed. In the future, he will meet and pay homage to 300 myriads of kotis of Buddha Bhagavats and practice the pure path of discipline and integrity, seeking for the wisdom of the Buddhas. Having offered respect to the highest and best of humans, and having completely grasped the ultimate wisdom, he will become a Buddha while in his last body. His land will be pure. The earth will be made of lapis lazuli, and many jeweled trees will be in rows along roads bordered with golden cords, and those who see it will be gladdened. The air will always be filled with a pleasant fragrance, and many beautiful flowers will be strewn about. Various wonderful things will adorn this earth, which will be level, without hills or hollows. There will be an incalculable number of bodhisattvas there, who will have the power of self-control, be versed in transcendent powers, and who will preserve the sutras of the Mahayana taught by the Buddhas. The multitude of shravakas, bearing their last bodies, free from corruption, heirs of the Dharma King, will also be unreckonable. Their numbers will be impossible to calculate even with the divine eye. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 12 intermediate kalpas. The true Dharma will last in the world for 20 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also last for 20 intermediate kalpas. Thus will things be with the Bhagavat Rashmi Prabhasa. At that time, Mahamaugalyayana, Subhuti, and Mahakatyayana were all charged with excitement, and with palms pressed together, they attentively gazed at the Bhagavat, never turning their eyes from him. They immediately spoke these verses in unison, quote, "O Bhagavat, great hero, O king of the Dharma of the Sakyas, bestow the Buddha's words upon us out of your compassion for us. If, Knowing the depths of our hearts, you give us your predictions. It will be like cooling our fevers by sprinkling us with the Dharma of immortality. It is as though someone coming from a country suffering from famine were suddenly to find a great king's feast spread before him, yet is stricken with doubt and does not venture to eat until, being instructed by the king, he dares at last to do so. We are exactly like this. We have been constantly thinking about the faults of the inferior vehicle, and so we had no knowledge of the way to obtain the highest wisdom of the Buddha. Although we hear the Buddha's voice saying that we will become Buddhas, we still have doubts in our minds as if we dare not eat the meal. If we receive the Buddha's prediction, it will immediately put us at ease. The Bhagavat, the great hero, always wants to put the world at ease. And so we entreat you to bestow upon us your predictions, as though to starving people waiting for permission to eat. Then the Bhagavat, knowing what lay in the thoughts of the great disciples, addressed the monks, saying, quote, "This Subhuti in the future will meet, respect, venerate, praise, and pay homage to 300 myriads of kotis of nayutas of Buddhas, and he will always practice the pure path of discipline and integrity and complete the Bodhisattva path. In his last body, he will become a Buddha called Yashasketu, a Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well departed, knower of the world, unsurpassed, tamer of humans, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagavat. His land will be called Ratnasambhava, in the Kalpa called Ratnavapasa. The land will be even, and the earth will be made of crystal and adorned with jeweled trees. It will be without pits, pebbles, thorns, or the filth of excrement. The earth will be covered with precious flowers and will be everywhere pure. The people in this world will all live in wonderful towers with jeweled terraces. The Sravakas, the disciples there, will be innumerable and limitless, beyond calculation and metaphor, and there will also be innumerable thousands of myriads of kotis of nayutas of bodhisattvas. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 12 intermediate kalpas. The true Dharma will last in the world for 20 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also last for 20 intermediate kalpas. This Buddha will always dwell in the air, teaching the Dharma for the multitude, and he will save incalculable bodhisattvas and sravakas. Thereupon, the Bhagavat, wanting to explain the meaning of this further, spoke these verses. O monks, I shall now make something known to you. You should attentively listen to what I have to say. My great disciple, Subhuti, will become a Buddha called Yashasketu. He will pay homage to innumerable myriads of kotis of Buddhas, and, following the Buddha's practice, he will gradually come to complete the great path. He will attain the 32 marks in his last body, and his form will be fine and beautiful, just like a jeweled mountain. His Buddha world will be ultimately pure. Of the sentient beings who see it, there will be none who do not rejoice. There the Buddha will bring incalculable sentient beings to enlightenment. In the midst of his Dharma, there will be many bodhisattvas with keen faculties who turn the irreversible wheel of the Dharma. This world will always be graced with bodhisattvas. There will also be incalculable numbers of sravakas. All of them will have perfected the 3 sciences and the 6 transcendent powers, will abide in the 8 liberations, and have great dignity and virtue. The Buddha will expound the Dharma and reveal immeasurable, unthinkable, transcendent powers. All the devas and humans, as numerous as the sands of the Ganges River, will listen to the Buddha's words with palms pressed together. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 12 intermediate kalpas. The true Dharma will last in the world for 20 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also last for 20 intermediate kalpas. Thereupon, the Bhagavat addressed the monks, saying, quote, I will now tell you that this Mahakatyayana in the future will honor, respect, and pay homage to 8,000 kotis of Buddhas with offerings. After the parinirvanas of these Buddhas, he will erect stupas, each of which will be 1,000 yojanas in height and 500 yojanas in both width and depth. These stupas will all be constructed of the 7 precious treasures: gold, silver, lapis lazuli, mother of pearl, agate, pearls, and rubies. He will pay homage to these stupas with many flowers and necklaces, fragrant ointments, scented powders, burning incense, canopies, flags, and banners. After this, he will also pay homage to 2 myriads of kotis of Buddhas in exactly the same way, and having done so, he will perfect the Bodhisattva path and become a Buddha called Jambunadabhasa, a Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well-departed, knower of the world, unsurpassed, tamer of humans, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagavat. His land will be level. The earth will be made of crystal, and it will be adorned with jeweled trees. The roads will be bordered with golden cords, and beautiful flowers will cover the earth. It will be pure everywhere, and those who see it will rejoice. There will be none of the 4 troubled states of being, namely the hells, hungry ghosts, animals, and asuras. There will be many devas and humans, and immeasurable myriads of kotis of sravakas and bodhisattvas will grace this world. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 12 intermediate kalpas. The true Dharma will last in the world for 20 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also last for 20 intermediate kalpas. At that time, the Bhagavat, wanting to explain the meaning of this further, spoke these verses. O monks, listen carefully. What I shall say is nothing but the truth. This Katyayana will pay homage to the Buddhas with various wonderful offerings. After the parinirvanas of those Buddhas, he will erect stupas constructed of the 7 precious treasures and offer respect to their relics with flowers and incense. In his last body, he will attain the wisdom of the Buddha and will achieve complete enlightenment. His world will be pure, and he will save incalculable myriads of kotis of sentient beings. He will be venerated in the 10 directions. There is nothing that surpasses this Buddha's ray of light, so this Buddha will be called Jambunadabhasa. There will be innumerable, uncountable bodhisattvas and sravakas gracing this world, who have shaken free from every state of being. Thereupon, the Bhagavat again addressed the assembly, saying, quote, I will now tell you that this Mahamaugalayana will respect, venerate, and pay homage to 8,000 Buddhas with various offerings, and after the parinirvanas of these Buddhas, he will erect stupas, each of which will be 1,000 yojanas in height and 500 yojanas in both depth and width. These stupas will be constructed with the 7 precious treasures: gold, silver, lapis lazuli, mother of pearl, agate, pearls, and rubies. He will offer them various flowers, necklaces, fragrant ointments, scented powders, burning incense, canopies, flags, and banners. After this, he will pay homage to 200 myriads of kotis of Buddhas in exactly the same way, and will become a Buddha called Tamalapatra Khandana Ganda, a Tathagata, Arhat, completely enlightened, perfect in knowledge and conduct, well departed, knower of the world, unsurpassed, tamer of humans, teacher of devas and humans, Buddha, Bhagavat. His world will be called Manobhirama, in the Kalpa called Radiprapurna. The land will be level, the earth will be made of crystal, adorned with jeweled trees and strewn with flowers of pearls. It will be pure everywhere, and those who see it will rejoice. There will be many devas and humans, innumerable bodhisattvas and shravakas. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 24 intermediate kalpas. The true Dharma will last in this world for 40 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also last for 40 intermediate kalpas. Then the Bhagavat, wanting to elaborate on this meaning, spoke these verses. This disciple of mine, Mahamogga Lalyayana, having abandoned this body, will meet 8,000 and then 200 myriads of kotis of Buddha Bhagavats. For the sake of the Buddha path, he will pay them homage and respect them, and always practice holy conduct of discipline and integrity in the presence of these Buddhas. He will uphold the Buddha Dharma for immeasurable kalpas. After the parinirvanas of these Buddhas, he will erect stupas constructed with the 7 precious treasures, on which gold banners will be long displayed. He will pay homage to these stupas of the Buddhas with flowers, incense, and music. After having mastered the Bodhisattva path step by step in a land called Manobhirama, he will become a Buddha called Tamalapatra Aganda. The lifespan of this Buddha will be 24 intermediate kalpas. He will always expound the Buddha path for the sake of devas and humans. There will be countless shravakas, as numerous as the sands of the Ganges River, who will have perfected the 3 sciences and 6 transcendent powers and have great dignity and virtue. There will be innumerable bodhisattvas, resolute and persevering, who will never turn away from the wisdom of the Buddhas. After the parinirvana of this Buddha, the true Dharma will last for 40 intermediate kalpas, and the semblance Dharma will also be like this. All of my disciples, 500 in number, who are endowed with dignity and virtue, will also receive my prediction. In the future, they will all become Buddhas. I will now explain the relationships that you and I have formed in past lives. All of you, listen carefully.